Chapter 1 Prologue. We used to be 6. We did not know who came first, really. We know that fear, curiosity, and imagination were here before us. We knew that kindness, mischief, and me, understanding, came later. We didn't care all that much. I, at least, did not. I was happy as long as they got along. As long as, at the end of the days, we could sit together and eat in peace. I did not mind breaking off fights or settling conflicts between them. Listening to curiosity and imagination was fun. Their ideas interesting and colorful. Calming down kindness or letting him hug me was fun. Watching mischief, observe other people to learn how they work, and listening to his findings was nice. Holding fear when he was afraid, telling him that he was safe, was good with me. But things changed. We changed. Imagination changed first. He became 2. They both were creativity. They insisted they were not the same, that they needed different names because it would be confusing to call them both creativity. Curiosity thought it was illogical to call them not by their functions. I told him to be understanding and accept that, while we did not see yet how they were different, we should trust them and believe they were different. One decided to be Roman, and the other one decided to be Remus. Remus only told mischief, fear, and me. He only told us because he wanted to mess with kindness and curiosity. And things went on. Curiosity changed next. He became logic, and soon after, kindness became empathy. Roman helped them figure out their names. Logan and Patton. They started influencing Thomas more, and I laid back. Less for me to do was fine with me. Fear and mischief did not like it. They were very certain that the others were making the wrong choices and influenced Thomas in the wrong ways. So mischief found a way to work from the shadows, gave himself and fear the possibility to subconsciously influence Thomas's mind. I encouraged their approach. It meant that there would not be a conflict between them and Roman, Logan, and Patton, and they still felt like they were in control. A perfect solution. We got older. Fear took the name Virgil. Thomas became a teenager. Virgil's fear became anxiety, and mischief became deceit. And the others found out. They found out what they did and became angry. Remus defended them, and I tried to settle for a compromise. But I had missed how empathy had turned to morality, how Patton had gotten more and more power, and now simply overruled us. He and deceit fought, and they decided to leave it like this, to let us influence Thomas from the shadows and stay hidden from him, since that was what he wanted so badly. And the others would remain in the light and help Thomas their way. I did not mind the solution. What bothered me was the fact that I had missed how we turned to us and them. How had I missed the split? How had I not seen us growing apart? I did not know. Deceit took the name Janice. We grew more. I sat with Virgil in his room to listen to his music. I walked with Remus through his adventures and the disturbing descriptions of monsters he had created in his head. I drank tea at 3 a.m. with Janice, telling me about all the things he could make Thomas do if he just got it right. But Janice never was the perfect planner. His ideas weren't bad per se, he just didn't think things entirely through. Didn't account for people being kind or acting generous. And as good as he was at improvising, he tended to sabotage himself the second he went by the seat of his pants. Quite honestly, I was fine with that. Him not getting what he wanted didn't seem too bad for me, as long as Roman had a say in the conversation. He tended to go for the more selfish solution, and that often was just what Janice wanted. So everything was fine. I kept watching the others on my own closely. I couldn't miss another change like I did before. I would have to interfere this time, and I was set on doing so. And then Virgil began to influence Thomas from the outside. It was not drastic at first. Virgil just went out of the Mindscape, talked to him without Thomas ever hearing him, but sensing the influences of his work. I was worried, and Virgil was more defensive towards Janice and Remus. I kept an eye on him, and then, on one day, it happened. "Who are you?" I called Janice and Remus in panic. They had heard. We watched as Virgil's door shifted and knew that he would not come back to us. Virgil did not come back. He let me inside in the period between him being accepted and no longer being one of us. He let me sit with him, calming down after fights with the others, and thank me for my time. And then he got accepted, and he would no longer let me in. He was one of them now, he told me, and he did not need me any longer. I accepted that. I let him go. And I decided that I would make him realize that this is not what he wanted. I began to plan. Then besides Janice and Logan, I had plans as well. And unlike Janice, I had watched the others closer and more precisely and saw how they changed and tried to accommodate each other. Unlike Logan, I did not blind myself by denying my emotions. Everyone has goals and dreams. Everyone has desires. They are not always selfish, but they do exist. And they need to be considered in order for me to succeed. I helped Janice before he first appeared, and thought it made it possible for the rest of us to appear as well. I did think that Roman would feel bad about lying eventually, and was not too surprised by the outcome. Patton's leniency with Janice taking his place was more surprising to me, but even that could be explained with morality's fondness of theoristic deceit. From then on, I let Janice act on his own. I was not happy with the way he treated Roman and Logan. Their growth was so vital in taking pressure off of Patton, but I would make do with it. Remus' appearance was a lot less planned than Janice would like to admit. Thomas was stressing over everything, and I felt heavy and cloudy. Of course, Remus did react. If he wanted to or not, or intrusive thoughts got revealed. For the first time, Logan tried to nudge us towards a therapist. And then there was the wedding. Well, it was time for me to enter the ring. They did not look at me or expect me. I am, and always was, an observer, and took on the title of tactfulness. The right moment to say thank you, to apologize, to retreat, or to move forward. I was the middle ground to Patton's act for all the others, and Janice's act only for yourself. I was a diplomat. I was not someone you saw coming. I was quiet and polite. I was tolerated by all sides. I used to keep them together. I used to smooth the tides. But compromises have been overlooked and denied. Logic and passion were hurt and cast aside. Anxiety was heightening, and the intrusive thoughts got more and more violent. We had to act. I was tired. I was hollow. I was ready. I would get my way. I would make them see and listen. I would start by taking their hope and keep it close to my chest. Keep him safe and sound. And then I would let Thomas hear my name.